Well, at 8 months, at 8 months old, she had a stroke. She has obviously some weakness in the right side and some fine motor skill issues. So it's just been a slow, long recovery.
Dr. Fullerton is a recipient of the funds from the American Heart Association. So, I mean, that in itself helps us because anything new that they come up with or, you know, for different types of therapies and other types of research will directly affect Emma.
So Emma is a patient of mine who had a stroke when she was a baby. And at the time that she had a stroke, we actually didn't understand a lot about why she had had her stroke. And this, again, was something that we investigated in the cohort study that I started with AHA funding. And I've used the data from that AHA study to get NIH funding. And we're now doing a large prospective international study of childhood stroke, really the first of its kind.
The American Heart Association is the second largest funder of heart disease research. The National Institutes of Health has provided most of the funding over the years, but in recent years, only 1 in 8 or 1 in 10 of the most qualified investigators are able to get funded. It's an astonishingly small percentage of people that are really capable of advancing the field, but who have to look elsewhere for support. And so the American Heart Association is such a place, such an organization that can help to support these young investigators.
It's actually one of the best things that the American Heart Association does, in that they have decided that the best thing they can do to promote cardiovascular research in the United States is to establish a robust pipeline of scientists and physicians who are dedicated to solving the problems of people with heart disease and stroke in this country. And so they fund research from time people are students learning to be scientists to after they get their PhD degrees to the point where they start their own laboratory, as I did. It's been extraordinarily successful, and it's resulted in really tremendous discoveries over the last several decades in the cardiovascular field.
I had a heart attack in November of 2006. I never expected that I would have a heart attack. I always think that happens to other people, that wouldn't happen to me. I have family members who have died from stroke, but I felt like I was making different choices perhaps than they, and so I would be okay.
I applied for American Heart Association grant to take some of the work that I had been doing early on during my time on faculty to really expand it, to try to develop it into a project that looked at different strategies for cardiovascular disease prevention, particularly in racial and ethnic minority populations.
I remember doctors telling my parents that it was literally a day-to-day they just had to pray that I made it until research caught up. And fortunately it did. And my life has been, done a 180. I lead a very active, very normal life. I was Miss Iowa, and that was my platform. I made over 1,000 speeches on behalf of the American Heart Association.
Well, this is a wonderful program that the Heart Association sponsored, and it's aimed at outcomes research, which is saying, what is it that works to treat people with heart disease, and can we find that, and does it work equally well for the average person, but does it work for me? And so that's one of the main things that we're focused on here. And for me, it kind of comes full circle. As a young faculty member, I had their support, and now we're giving that support to newer, younger faculty.
I'm studying heart development and using mouse and human embryonic stem cells and iPS cells as a model system to do that. So the American Heart Association has been instrumental in my career progression because they've funded me with a scientist development grant, which has really added a lot of legitimacy to my research efforts.
Personally, I have been, touched by heart disease in a negative way, as I think a lot of people have, being that it's the #1 killer in the U.S. And of course, developing countries.
Then I had my first surgery when I was about 3 months old. So I've had this scar since I was 3 months old. They had me on the heart and lung machine, which kept me alive, obviously, and if they hadn't had the heart and lung machine at the time, they wouldn't have been able to do the surgery. So.
One of the most important things that we do here at Gladstone is train the next generation of scientists. And the American Heart Association has been an important partner with us in ensuring that people not only get their start in cardiovascular research, but then continue in it for decades.
This new blueprint provides tremendous opportunities to develop and disseminate innovative prevention strategies and programs.
Those of us that have participated in the Heart Association at the level of research, at the level of education, fundraising, program development, the value that the Heart Association brings to many of us is a personal feeling of both gratitude and excitement to me.
You have done so much to help people like myself, and if it weren't for you, I would not be here today.
I wouldn't be here otherwise, so.
I'm here, almost wasn't here. And I would bet that something that you've done, some work that you've put together, some research that you've done made a difference. And that's why I'm here, because of you. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart.